Hello and welcome to Flutzes and Waxels, a figure skating podcast to satisfy all of your skating news, analysis, and recap needs. I'm Mary Margaret Mertzos.
And I'm Alicia Mertzos, and we're sisters with a lifelong love for figure skating, practicing, watching, and discussing. So let's delve deep into what's happened in the skating world this week.
So we are continuing our long recap of the Grand Prix Final, senior and junior.
There is lots to talk about.
Yes.
Lots of good, lots of bad.
Some crazy.
Yeah. They're
especially in the pairs. Honestly, the pairs junior and senior were a bit of a disappointment overall.
It was not great.
Yeah.
It was, when Ted says that it was a little underwhelming.
Yeah.
That it must have been a disaster.
Yeah.
Because Ted doesn't say negative things about anybody.
Exactly.
Even tame negative things, like it was a bit of a disappointment.
Yeah. I mean, it was, all of these teams can skate better than they did here.
Much better.
At the same time, it led to interesting results that I don't know if anybody would have predicted coming in.
I mean,
which is kind of fun.
I would have never predicted almost anything out of either of the sets of ordinals for the programs.
Yeah, that too.
So, I mean, this was wild.
Yeah. So we'll start with our winners. Sui and Han finally winning the Grand Prix Final. I mean, they haven't had the chance to go to a lot since they've been so injured. And I think, and they even mentioned in press conferences and things that they were feeling the effects of competing so many times within the course of a couple of weeks.
They are not used to competing very much because they're constantly injured.
Yeah. You could see it a little bit here. This was nowhere near as strong as their two Grand Prix.
Yeah. Things are getting a little bit worse as the season goes on, but they're about to have some time.
Exactly.
Take a break.
I mean, basically, it's just 4 continents and worlds.
Yep.
They'll probably do Chinese nationals, but that's
less
important.
They also don't need to do Chinese nationals.
Yeah.
They won the Grand Prix Final. They're going to Worlds.
Yeah. There's no question.
Yeah.
Obviously, the pair elements are always really
stunning.
Yeah. Although, weirdly, and unfortunately, pair lift level things are not my forte.
Yeah.
But they got a level 2 on, I believe, both of their Group 5 reverse lasso lifts. Yeah. In both programs. I'm sorry, I don't know exactly what caused that, but obviously something went wrong in both. It might be something to do with the split, was my first guess.
Yeah. I would guess either one or two of her positions were not adequately difficult, because the way that they work is essentially you need to have something that challenges one or both partners' strength, flexibility, and or balance.
Yeah.
And I believe you have to hit 2 of them for it to be considered a difficult variation, or it has to be supremely difficult in one of the 3.
Mm-hmm.
And so if she doesn't have enough of a split, or doesn't let go of his hand soon enough,
or even if he's not doing as much with his feet that he usually does, that can also...
It didn't help that the camera angles... We have not talked about this yet.
That's true. The camera angles were pretty terrible at this event.
Atrocious. The number of times... we should have talked about this in dance, but we didn't, so I'm going to talk about it now. The number of times during the fin step, we got a shot of the edge of the boards instead of the fin step.
Well, either that or the really wide shot when they're down at the other end of the rink, and it's like, I can't tell what's going on. Thanks, cameraman.
Which does not help us in trying to evaluate level features.
Yeah.
In any discipline, especially pairs when we don't really know.
Yeah, that's the discipline I'm least comfortable in levels on things with.
And it's mostly just the lifts.
Yeah.
I know the level features for everything else, but there are too many options with the lifts.
Yeah. Obviously, something's going on with that Group 5 reverse lift, though, and I'm sure they'll get it fixed.
Yeah.
Because that's not usually a problem that they have.
I mean, what can we say besides this wasn't their best day, but they're still amazing?
Yeah, I mean, basically.
That's...
Because really, it was that, and it was some side-by-side jump issues.
Yeah.
She had a bit of a hand down on the throw in the short program. That's whatever. Actually, the other thing is their pair spin in the free skate is still a little awkward looking.
It's less awkward, though, than it was the first time we saw it.
It is, but it's still, you can tell it's still not comfortable for them.
Yeah, they still need to work on that. They now have time.
Yeah.
I'm sure they're going to be drilling that pair spin over and over and over again because they like how ridiculously difficult it is.
Yeah.
I mean,
it is really cool looking, and if they can, perform it cleanly, it'll just really add to the overall. But I think especially in this free skate, when things were already going a little bit awry, it takes away a little bit.
It certainly didn't help them.
Yeah.
That's for sure.
Yeah, they just looked, even things like after the throw triple sow, when she usually does all the transitions on one foot. She did very briefly, and I don't know if it went fully on the ice, but she brought her free leg in and looked like she put it down in between, which I wouldn't know. That's the best part of the program.
That's the moment we rave about every week. What are we going to talk about if we can't talk about how great that moment is?
Yeah, which it just made me think, like, they both look tired.
They both need a nap.
Yeah, they need to get back into the swing of actually competing regularly, because it's been a while.
Years.
I think the last time was before the Olympics, because they were at the final that year.
Yeah, that's been a minute.
But before then, I think as well, I think they missed a year. Yeah.
They have not been competing consistently for more than a season in a long time, because the poor thing, she has so many ankle injuries. Yeah. Because those throws are enormous.
Yeah. We also didn't mention the
ice
tracker. Yeah. I mean, it was especially interesting to me for the pairs, where you got some really gigantic throws.
All of those throws had a peak height of over a meter.
Yeah, which is insane.
Especially because most of these girls are like 5 foot.
Yeah.
They're barely more than a meter tall.
Yeah. That was the one. It doesn't do much for me in the singles. I found it a little distracting more than anything, but for the pair throws,
it's such an interesting comparison,
especially when we'll talk about the juniors. Panfilova and Rylov had a giant one, and then some of the others were like, okay, this isn't quite as ginormous as the winners were.
And then you can see where the differentiation comes in, because you can't tell things like throw height and throw speed as accurately on TV.
Yeah. So overall, they got the title finally.
Yep.
They were second in the free skate, which I don't think they were ready for, and which is why, as we mentioned coming in, if other teams had been more clean, they might not even have won here, but they got a little bit lucky with everybody else making mistakes.
Yeah, they got really lucky.
Yeah.
Because the teams that were great in the free skate were not in the short program.
Yeah.
And the teams that were great in the short program were not in the free skate.
Yeah.
Had anybody else managed to put two programs together?
Yeah, they could well have won.
Yep.
But was not what happened here.
Yep.
Who did win the free skate, though, were Peng and Jin, who I was really concerned about after the short program, where, I mean, their throws are just usually so enormous and fantastic. And was not here, as well as she had a bit of a, step out on triple toe.
Which... normally, on its own,
that's not as big of a thing, but in combination with the throw.
Yeah. If she had just done that triple toe and everything else went as planned, I would have been freaking out.
Yeah.
Because
and they would have been higher up in the standings.
They would have, if they had not had that error on the triple loop, they would have won.
I mean, maybe. It would have been close, but it is possible, yeah.
Because, I mean, here's the thing. Sui and Han made quite a few mistakes over the two programs, and Peng and Jin were amazing in the free skate, which we will get to in a second, and the only important error was that loop.
Yeah. Although, to be fair, they were good by the standards of this competition in the free skate. They were still not as strong as we've seen from them in the past. He especially looked, I don't know, a little labored here, there were a few of those lifts in the end of the program, which I was very concerned about. That everything got done, other than they both popped the opening triple sow to a double, which at least they were in unison.
Here's the thing. If you both do it, you can pretend it's intentional.
Yeah.
And then it's fine. And then you wind up with positive GOE because you both did it and it looked intentional. These two should probably just do side-by-side double sows.
Or double axles. Yeah. We've seen them do that before.
They don't need two triples. They never go well.
Yeah. And, I mean, like I said, that they did win this free skate in this field, but compared to how they've skated before, earlier on in this season, again, I was worried about them. I was worried all the way through that free skate, and they survived, but it's never good if you're worrying about how they're going to do.
Yeah, this was a discipline where the goal was to survive and not to thrive. They survived. Almost nobody else did. Yeah. Which is why they won the free skate. Mm-hmm. It was a little nerve-wracking, particularly the last two lifts were a little scary. Everything else was fine. I
mean, everything else was pretty good, but we're at the final here. Yes. Everybody's expectations are sky high, and even these two didn't quite do as well as I was hoping and expecting.
This was not a great pairs event. Yeah. Which makes me sad because I miss great pairs.
Yeah. Let's move on to third place here. Mishina and Galyamov, who also had a not too bad competition.
They were maybe the most consistent.
Yeah, I was going to say, they didn't have, many big mistakes. The biggest one was the 3-jump combination, which they're doing 2 triples in anyway. So
they totally get a pass on getting a downgrade on that second triple sow.
Yeah.
Because nobody else can do that in the first place.
Exactly. Yeah, and there were, a couple other little things that weren't quite as smooth. The side-by-side spins in the short program. And
lots of middling GOE.
Well, and even the twist levels. Yeah. We usually see them get a level 4, only level 3 in both programs here. But they made fewer mistakes than most other people, which was enough to keep them on the podium.
Honestly, they maybe should have done a little bit better score-wise. Yeah. Just because they didn't really make any mistakes. Yeah. It was just that things were not great.
Well, and I think we've talked about before, but I think the short program hurts them in that regard. Because it just doesn't do anything for them.
It hurts them. It doesn't just not do anything for them. It hurts them. Because they are dynamic and powerful. Mm-hmm. And that music...
It could work for a different team, like the program as is. I just think that the music doesn't suit them. They don't really have a romantic relationship between the two of them.
They have a very business-like relationship where you can tell they like each other, but they act more like coworkers than best friends.
Siblings or
which is fine, and you can lean into that. Again, they're ridiculous, kind of terrible, but I loved it. Party like a Russian short program. Yep. Which somebody clearly didn't understand the lyrics to that song. Yeah. But that's fine. It made it kind of better. Because it was so ridiculous.
Well, they were having fun with it. They don't seem to be having much fun with the short program. It's not a fun program, and the free skate is fun. And you can see they like the character moments and the drama of it all.
She likes pointing aggressively at the judges. Yep. And clearly yelling at them with her eyes. And that's the other thing, is they're kind of aggressive on the ice. Yeah. And so Je suis malade is just too soft and fluffy for them.
Yeah, and it's just not the right vibe.
No, it's not them at all. And they're not fantastic actors. Yeah. Where some people can take a thing that is not them and fake it well enough that it works. Not these two. Yeah. At least not yet.
Yeah, and this is still their, senior debut season. They've been doing extremely well, on that standard. But as a Russian pair, unfortunately, the standard's got to be higher to even get out of the country.
Although this will have helped them quite a lot.
Yeah. If I had to predict, I would say they might make it to at least Europeans. I don't know about maybe on the podium at Russian Nationals, but who knows? There's going to be so many people there.
There's going to be so many people there that anything could happen. But being the only Russian team to medal, being the top Russian team at the Grand Prix Final, should give them a shot at Europeans as long as they don't bomb at nationals.
Yeah, which, to be fair, I don't think they will, because they are very consistent. And, you know, having 2 mistakes between 2 programs is kind of uncharacteristic for them.
Yeah, this was not a great skate for them.
Yeah.
This ice is cursed.
Yeah,
kinda. This ice was cursed. The 2006 original dance cursed this rink, and there was no blood sacrifice to fix it. Yeah. Apparently, all Olympic ice is cursed.
I guess
after what happened in Lake Placid at the JGP,
maybe there's just too much pressure when you're skating in an Olympic arena. All right, and then let's see, 4th here were Boykova and Kozlovsky. This was a real disappointment, I think, for us and obviously for them.
This was kind of devastating because the short program went really, really well.
Yep.
They did what I expected them to do in the short program.
Yep.
They were second only to Sui and Han.
Yep. And very, very close points wise. And if they had had the sort of free skate we're used to seeing from them, I think honestly they would have won.
Absolutely.
Pretty easily.
Yeah.
But of course that is not what happened. And you got to wonder if the pressure got to them or what was going on, but they just did not. Both of them looked off. It wasn't even just one partner.
They each took turns. Mm-hmm. He botched the side-by-side combo.
No, to be fair, that was her.
Oh, no.
She
did. It was. But there were too many botched combos this weekend between junior and senior pairs. I can't keep track of who did what.
Yeah. No, she had the trouble on the combo. But then it looked like he was maybe having some difficulties in the lifts. Like the last 2, neither went very well. They hung on okay, but like the dismount on the group 5 lift,
both of them?
Yeah, actually both of them didn't go so great.
They struggled to get them up. They struggled to get them back down. Mm-hmm. They didn't have the seamless transitions that they normally have.
Even the death spiral, like she didn't get her head down as quickly as usual. They just seemed off the whole way through.
I think they were nervous.
Yeah.
I think they knew that they should medal here.
Yeah.
They should realistically be second.
Yeah.
And that they could.
Yeah.
And that if Sui and Han made a mistake, they could even win.
Yeah.
And they got ahead of themselves and started thinking too much about the what ifs and the what if we don't and the pressure.
Yeah.
Rather than just saying, well, if we go out there and do what we can, we're going to do great. Mm-hmm. And whatever placement that is, hands up.
Well, it's been kind of a sudden rise for these two because this is only their second senior season and their first Grand Prix final. I'm sure they were thinking about, and next, going to be Russian champions and European champions and maybe on the podium of Worlds. And before you know it, you're messing up your combinations and your lifts. And then there's just no recovering from that.
Yeah. I do think this will be a valuable learning experience for them.
Yeah.
Because they were so successful in the juniors. Mm-hmm. And then they had a pretty good season last season. Yeah. And then they were fantastic at their first few events this season. I think they kind of needed this as like a reality check of like nothing is guaranteed. You got to put the work in. You got to deliver on the day.
Yeah. You can't be overconfident in your abilities because it's pairs. Things can and will go wrong. It is a real shame though because I was really hoping to see them.
I was really excited for them. You guys know how much we love them.
Yeah.
But this was not the free skate they needed.
Yeah. I mean, at least for them, they wound up the second Russian team, even though it was off the podium. And I do still think that they might be the front runners for Russian nationals.
I would say they're the front runners, but...
Well, I was about to say, except for the fact that who knows what's going to happen at Russian nationals. Anything could happen.
But they obviously can't do this.
Yes.
They've got to skate the way that they have up until now.
Yep. And
if they do that, I would say they'll be on the podium.
Yeah, I would imagine.
But, of course, there's Tarasova and Morozov and all the other Russian teams.
And all the Russian juniors, because all 5 who qualify for the junior Grand Prix final also get to go to senior nationals. So.
Which will be interesting.
Yeah, it's Russian pairs. I know everybody's talking about the showdown in Russian ladies, and that's going to be great too. But the pairs is going to be really fascinating.
Especially for those juniors, because things shook up in the juniors this week as well.
Yep. All right, and let's move on to 5th place. Kirsten Moortowers and Michael Marinero, who
Michael's back in the doghouse. Let's start with that.
Well, yeah. I mean, the short program really set them off on the wrong foot. The short program was not perfect, but skated well enough that, you know, a fall on a throw basically guaranteed that they were going to be in last going into the free. At least to their credit, they started out really, really strong in that free skate. Everything was going really, really well for a while there.
And you look at the protocol and you think, oh no, they skated really well. Why would Michael be in the doghouse? There was a fall on a throw. Michael's in the doghouse because he fell on a throw.
So I did not watch this live. I caught up later and was unspoiled for all results. When this happened, I literally LOL'd and had to stop the video so I could stop laughing before I could go back to watching. And I felt a little bad because it was a really hard fall.
It was. And those falls, if you've never done that before, they hurt. They knock the wind out of you. They suck. Mm-hmm. And then he had to get up and do 2 group 5 lifts.
Yeah. Which he survived at least, but
didn't do them well, obviously, because you're still gasping for breath.
And I mean, we've seen people, you know, like guys doing a throw, tripping as they throw their partner, and maybe even stumbling and like a knee goes down. I have never seen anybody just full on face plant.
He was in a full-blown push-up position by the time he hit the ice. I have never seen that before. This is my second favorite terrible throw moment, second only to Stolbova and Klimov's European throw.
The throw that never existed because he fell before he could throw her right at the end of the program.
I laugh when I think about that every time, and then I feel guilty because it was very sad for them.
Yeah.
But she was so angry, and it was so obvious she was so mad at him. This is how I felt watching Michael faceplant on a throw.
Yeah, again, like I said, I felt bad afterwards, but I literally laughed out loud when it happened in real time. Me too.
Oh man, I also missed this one live. This particular skate, watched it later, and did the exact same thing of pause, snicker, enjoy it a little too much, go back and watch it again, and then move on, because it was a moment. It was not the moment they wanted, but it was the moment they got.
And it's a real shame, too, because, again, the whole rest of the program was really quite good, and they were 4th in the free skate. Yep. They might have even been able to move up a few places if only he had not fallen or even only stumbled.
Yeah. I mean, that was... I have never... Michael Marinaro has given me a whole lot of first pairs mistakes.
Well, yeah. It did make me think of, because there was a time that he fell... like throwing her up into a twist, and
the time he body slammed her at nationals.
That one's terrifying. That one's not funny.
That one is not funny. I would take this over that any day. But Michael, can you stop introducing me to new ways that pairs can have falls?
Yeah,
because he's had lots of things that I had never seen before, where one of them falls in a way that I'd never thought a pair would fall, and of course they will, but not in competition.
Yeah, this was a tough one. And, well, the other thing, too, was I was nervous the whole time because her zipper also split. Although, again, kudos to Kirsten Moore-Towers for just skating the whole time with, my zipper's split. It's fine. We'll keep going.
There's nothing I can do about it anyway.
I just, did this throw and, he's on the ground. What just happened? Oh, well, I guess I really got to sell the lifts now.
Kirsten Moore-Towers is the epitome of a pair girl.
Yeah.
Because she is unflappable. Mm-hmm. She's also kind of terrifying, but not in a Ksenia Stolbova kind of way where you're like genuinely afraid that she's going to murder you when you fall on the entry to the throw right at the last second of the program. Kirsten is just like so sparkly and perky, but you know what she does every day. And all of the ways that she's been dropped.
And edged under the surface. Yeah. And when they got off the ice, and it was like, he is in such the doghouse right now.
Michael is absolutely in the doghouse. People were joking about him needing to get her coffee every day for the next year. Yeah. It's the rest of her life.
Yeah.
They're going to move across the country, and he's going to have to, like, DoorDash her coffee every morning for this. Because that's a new one.
Yeah, I can only hope that we don't find new crazy ways.
This is the last one.
Yeah.
We're not allowed to invent any new ways for there to be pair falls.
So that's the thing. They've been skating really quite well overall this season. And just...
This was old Michael Marinaro from like 2.5 seasons ago.
Yeah. I don't even know how you do that. But now that it's happened once, let's prepare ourselves to not let it happen again.
Never again, Michael.
And then finally in 6th were Pavlyuchenko and Kodikin, who had a really great short program. They were actually in 3rd after that segment.
A fantastic short program.
I really, really love that program for them. I think it's maybe the best program they've ever had.
Absolutely.
And I mean, technically, they are just so fantastic.
They are capable of being one of the best teams in the world.
Mm-hmm.
But then sometimes things start to go off the rails and they have trouble getting things back together.
I mean, all things considered, I thought the free skate didn't go as badly as it could.
Yes.
She commits to everything. I will give her that.
Yeah.
She was, in the opening choreography, she was committing to all of it, all the back edges, and had that crazy backflip fall thing. That was the other shocking moment where how do you even do that?
How does that even happen?
I mean, to be fair, I've never watched myself do it, but I have, maybe not quite so dramatically, but that happens basically when you get too far on the back of your blade and you just whoop backward onto your back. And it hurts like you wouldn't believe.
So, like we talked about Michael's fall hurting. Mm-hmm. That kind of fall has nothing on these falls that you do over the back edge. Yeah. I have never flown 7 feet in the air like Daria did, but I have done that.
Yeah, falling directly on your back is a shock to the system and really hurts.
Because if you didn't know, your nervous system comes from your spine, which is the thing that hits the ice when you do that.
Yeah, and you can't even protect yourself with your hands, which at least like Michael, he had his hands out in front of him to soften the blow a little bit on his throw fall.
Yeah, and so for her, like, I have never flown that high in the air, I am sure. And I've never basically completely backflipped doing that, I am certain.
Yeah.
But even a little fall like that hurts so much. It like reverberates through your entire body because your entire nervous system is like, oh my God, what just happened?
Yeah. The fact that she was then able to go and do triple flip, triple toe, double toe, it's honestly unbelievable. They recovered far better than honestly they should have.
Yep.
But I mean, you could still see like in the twist, the catch was a little rough.
They do not do twists like this on a normal day. Their twist is textbook most of the time.
Yeah.
I think it's entirely down to the fact that she fell at a time when they weren't expecting her to fall, and so timing is off. And the fact that she was probably still trying to recover from the fact that she had just body slammed herself into the ice.
Yeah. Well, and I think as well, it kind of looked to me, and I've noticed this before, he seems to be very sort of big brotherly with her. He sort of seemed to be like, no, it's okay, Daria. I'm going to make sure you're okay. And like maybe not throwing her up quite as high to try and soften the blow, except it kind of worked against them.
Yeah.
But it also seemed to me that he was trying to, help her out a little bit.
Her,
yeah.
Because, oh my God, what did you just do?
Yeah.
They have the sweetest little relationship on the ice. It's adorable, but it didn't help them here.
Yeah. And I mean, again, they recovered far better than they should have.
Yeah.
But then she also had fall on the throw.
Yeah.
A couple of the lifts, especially the group 5. That's a really awkward lift to begin with. And just neither of them looked fully confident through the whole thing.
And the other thing is she basically like flips through his arms. Like you do with your parents when you're a kid. Other people's parents did this, right? Where you do like a little flip as your parents are holding your hand. That's what she does. But if you've just annihilated your back, that's gotta hurt so much.
Well, and that was after the throw fall as well. So
pair girls are crazy.
Yes.
They are not human. This is why I'm scared of all of them.
And why I will never be one.
Never.
Yeah, it wound up putting them down in 6th, but it could have been way worse. I was really impressed with how well they were able to get through in spite of all these things.
That was hard to watch.
Yeah. I mean, at least it was very obviously a fluke fall, and I don't expect will happen again. So
No. But it also goes to show just how deep those edges are.
Yeah.
You can't do that on a flat edge.
No. She is committed, both of them are, to every moment of the choreography.
And particularly with the feet.
Yep.
They sometimes lose it in the face and the upper body.
Yeah.
But their feet are always doing things. They're always on deep, solid ice dancer edges.
Yep.
But then sometimes you fly off the edge of your blade, and if you're going that fast, you do a backflip.
Yeah.
I feel bad laughing about it, but it was kind of funny.
Yeah. I mean, that's the thing. For both these falls that we're laughing about a little bit, like, they look ridiculous, and that's why they're funny. But yes, they really hurt. I'm sure both of them were really sore afterwards.
Daria especially is probably black and blue right now.
Yeah, it wouldn't surprise me.
Girl, take care of yourself before nationals.
Yeah. Because this is another team. They could absolutely be on the podium.
Yep.
It will not be easy for anybody, though. All right. I think that wraps up the pairs event here. What was your highlight from this competition?
I think I'm going to give it to Boykova and Kozlovsky's short program.
Yeah.
They had me going for a minute.
It's just such a great program. And they showed why they're in this final.
And why they could have won the whole thing.
Yep, exactly.
On a better day. Yeah,
I think for me, on a similar note, Pavlyuchenko and Kodikin's short program.
Yeah.
It's just such a great piece, and their technical elements are so strong.
So fantastic.
If only they could, be a bit more consistent in the free skate and maybe work a little bit more on the facial acting. That's really all they need.
That's all. Everything else they do is so spectacular. It's these little details and flukes.
Yeah. And in terms of the weekly Waxel, there was so much to choose from, but I think it's got to go in a tie to Michael Marinaro and Daria Pavlyuchenko doing crazy falls that
I was not ready for.
Yeah.
But that also gave me a little bit of a giggle.
Yeah. Which was appreciated.
Which I kind of needed.
Yeah.
After this pairs event.
Yep. All right. I think that wraps up this one. We still have the senior ladies from the Grand Prix Final, and then all of the junior stuff. It will be coming to you probably
eventually.
Probably over the next couple of days. Since we have so many episodes to do, it'll take a little longer to get through.
Monday, Tuesday are always hit or miss for us.
Yes.
So maybe Wednesday.
Yeah. But we will see.
You've got like 4 hours of stuff now.
Yeah.
Or 3. 3-ish.
Yeah.
That's plenty to get you to Wednesday. And if it's not, I'm looking at you, Patrick. You'll live.
We're trying, but we got lives.
Do we? Do we have lives, Mary?
Barely. We try. All right. So that wraps up the pairs event here. Thank you all for listening, and please let us know your thoughts about This Week in Figure Skating at flutzescast@gmail.com. You can also follow us at Flutzescast on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram for even more skating content.
Check out our Patreon, patreon.com/flutzescast for all sorts of bonus skating content, and our merch store, flutzescast.redbubble.com. And if you like what we do, consider leaving us a review wherever you're listening. We'll be back soon with the rest of the Grand Prix Final, but until then, keep a watchful eye out for those Flutzes and Waxels skating fans.